Hey, Chris Liepe here with special guest Lauren Babic. Excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here and show you your very first time watching Courtney LaPlante's live sing-through of Rule of Nines by Spiritbox.
I've seen one other live sing-through, and I've heard Rule of Nine's studio version, but I've heard that, particularly in this version, that we actually get like a better, more intimate performance out of her than the studio version. Or is it that we can just hear her better?
I think it's both, because generally in rock and metal, vocals aren't exactly highlighted because you want to hear the entire band and all the intricacies that come with that.
Yeah.
But I know that Courtney loves to showcase vocal imperfections, which is why she does these videos.
Oh, yeah, that's really cool. Well, and you just talked to Courtney last night,
I
right?
did, yeah.
Yeah, so both of these singers have a huge passion for, showcasing and teaching and interacting with their fans. And if you've been keeping up on YouTube at all, particularly on Lauren's channel, you know that she's got some amazing things coming. If you'd like to go deeper with Lauren, click the link below and join her free warm-ups course so that you can get ready for making vocal covers, so that you can get ready for singing and performing and screaming. What's the warm-ups course called?
It's called How to Awaken Your Inner Monster.
All right, click the link below and join that. Let's get into this.
Okay. It's time for singing, and then some screaming, and then some singing and more screaming.
The SM7B without the stock popper stopper on it.
I was just going to say.
And then the popper stopper over. Like, that's actually a fairly common thing to do, but
Yeah.
it's an interesting aesthetic, I think.
I offer my life, cursed in the shrine, broken in twine. I feel my inside breaking down. I bury in time. I want to be part of life. Did you dance up in my mind? If that's what you like, your legions will block the light.
So, I gotta say, one of my favorite things about Courtney's voice is her breath.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
She does this in her singing and screaming. It is in the way she expresses herself through her breath. That is her key.
Between the notes, right? And the way she's sing-sighing, right?
Yep.
And sometimes you can even see her here at the very end of this last line here that she omits a note and replaces it with this sort of almost compressed breath.
Yeah.
And so you really make sure and hear it. And you being able to see her connect with, like, okay, this is the actual performance, right? There's no miming. There's no, like, you can see her body language connect with her breath, which I think is extra, like, tugging on the heartstrings.
Totally.
My mind, if that's what you like, your legions will block the light.
Like right there was the yeah, she omitted the note and she said the word, and yeah, it's just so cool.
I had a dream of schism for school of night, living in premonition, flowing from the same place I really given. It's such a strange place, so full of opposing forces.
I gotta go back right there where she said "give in." That articulation was super cool.
Living in premonition, flowing from the same place I really given.
They're not giving.
It's a very I call these like singer-isms. Every singer has their own sort of set of isms.
Yeah.
That's one of hers.
Her ability to just be grounded in her chest voice and then peek up into her head voice just for a second. It's the way a really expressive speaker talks, right? And she makes it so musical and so subtle. But if you really... That's why it's fun to listen to stuff like this over and over again, because you start really hearing the nuance and the expressiveness.
Living in premonition, flowing from the same place I really give it. It's such a strange place, so full of opposing forces. I had a dream of schism, forced the rule of night and time. I let the walls of a silence.
Oh, so she's doing the same thing that she did in Circle With Me, a little bit less precise than I heard it in that sing through, but where she's grounding in her normal talking voice. Yeah. And it's almost as if there's a melody going on underneath what's happening with the scream. You know, it's like this, but much more beautiful than that.
Yeah.
But
if you notice her mouth shape, she almost purses down to allow that space, because her screaming is also extremely melodic.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of her true voice coming through. And I think that's just the beauty of how her voice wants to work naturally.
Yeah. So she's leaned into that. You tend to have a much more, I mean, you do gritty singing for sure.
Yeah.
But you tend to have a much more detached scream.
Yeah.
You do a lot more pitchless stuff.
Right. And I think when I do it, I like to lift, where I think Courtney's kind of sending it sort of forward and down, almost down. And whereas I like to kind of live up in the soft palate area.
Yeah. That's what you said about her connecting her screams to her singing voice constantly. Like that more eloquently expresses what I was talking about, where she's always living in that in between, which makes it extra like, oh, what's gonna happen?
Living in premonition, flowing from the same place I really give it. It's such a strange place, so full of opposing forces. I had a dream of schism, forced the rule of night and time. I let the walls of a silence and time. Now there's nothing left to stay. Nobody follows me to take from.
I think you hear some Sam Carter in there too,
Totally.
right? Like that. Then you found the fingerprints all over the trigger.
Yeah.
Where you have that.
It's like a going in and out of it with a shout, and then you back off, you shout, you back off.
Yeah.
And I do that in a lot of Crazy 88 songs. But to me, that's very hardcore. Like that lives in like the hardcore genre, and I love that because it's pissed.
Yeah.
It sounds pissed off, and I like that.
Yeah, it does.
They said it's a cruel world.
And then she totally changes gears here.
So I lay myself down in the shape of a body. I live in the figurative. I want to be part of life. Detritus open up my mind.
Oh.
If that's what you like, your legions will blur the light. I had a dream of schism, forced the rule of night. Living in prayer.
so fun to hear her go that low. The first time she sang through that, I feel like there was this sense of like, that's low. This time it looked like she'd been a little bit more comfortable when she hit that low pitch.
Yeah, definitely. I think as the song goes on, your voice is sort of anticipating what's coming next, and you get more comfortable as you sing a song all the way through.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's such a strange place, so full of opposing forces. I had a dream of schism, forced the role of night. My crime, premonition, die. I learned to go.
What a range! Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, those like hits.
Oh.
And hits.
Her timing is a big part of that, right? How she cuts off, how she adjusts the pitch center of those screams. We can't discount the importance of the timing. It's not just about the tone.
100%.
The tone is amazing, but wow. And also the shapes of her face dictating or bringing out different things in her tone. Certainly with the screams, but...
You see, like, how on certain... I mean, I think her comfort level is she purses the ends of her lips down.
Uh-huh.
But you notice when she went lower, she closed the valve.
Mm-hmm.
And made more of like a tunnel. And that helps with scream pitch. And it kind of... It builds up that pressure and creates more resonance in your face.
Living in premonition, flowing from the same place I learned to give in. It's such a strange place, so full of opposing forces.
Right there. Forces. You've got this. You could very easily just forces. But notice even when I just sang that, the fact that I was lifting my face, forces, helps me hone in on the note I'm going for. A lot of times people struggle with pitch and they think more about trying to hit the right notes. And so they let other things go by the wayside, and they actually struggle more with pitch because they're focusing so much on pitch. If you focus on the idea of, okay, what am I doing with my face? How am I articulating each phrase? Your pitch can also almost start to happen automatically.
Mm-hmm. And I say this is a conflict in how choirs and opera, it's very contrasted, I guess, because when you're singing in a traditional sense, they tell you, sing like this, no expression, and there's nothing happening here. And I find in a rock context, that's actually causing you to put all the tension here because you're thinking, oh my God, I can't move my face. If I move my mouth, that means this. My sort of mantra is let yourself feel it. Mm-hmm. And that's going to take you so much further.
And the expression's going to come out naturally. And as a result, the sort of technical things that you want to accomplish, hitting certain notes, having certain tone, is going to follow without you having to try, because that stuff's coming out as a means of genuine expression. And we have an amazing example of that right here.
I had a dream of schism, forced the role of night. My crime, premonition, die. I learned to go. I did it.
And then, of course, not taking yourself too seriously, right?
I think this video is just a huge testament to let yourself feel the song and allow your emotion to come through, and not think about the technicalities too much, because it's this balancing act.
Right, you have to practice.
Yeah,
She wouldn't have been able to do that near flawless one-take performance if she hadn't practiced it and done it over and over again and paid attention to the technicalities of things and her timing and how she wants to approach certain things. But there comes a point, and the point is when you're doing something like this, where you have to go, I've studied for the test, I have prepared for the game, I have done everything that I'm going to do from a thinking standpoint, and you move from thinking to experiencing. Mm-hmm. And if you're interested in experiencing your voice in different ways and having a different and extremely compelling perspective on how to sing and scream and join those two worlds together, the best place to start right here with Lauren is by joining the free course linked below.
Yep.
What's it called?
How to Awaken Your Inner Monster.